Okay, hi ladies and weevils. This is AJ Crowley, and I'm mixing it up from the Final Fantasy 15 stuff I've been doing, and I'm going to be trying a bit of this EndZone game, which is a post-apocalyptic city management survival thing. Let me just check that my feed's coming through. My monitor machine is a bit crap for checking that kind of shit. Is it online? Is it offline? Who knows? Right. All I want to make sure is that it's at least showing this screen. Yay, there we go. Right, good. Okay. So, I'm just going to plow into a new game and we'll see where we get to. There are some basic starting conditions you can fiddle with. I'm going to sort of try and make things as easy for me as I can, actually. So you start off with a large number of settlers, which may or may not be a good thing, to be honest. We've got metal tools instead of scrap tools. Or no tools. We've got a radiation suit, like a hazmat suit, or carbon mask, or a neck scarf. This is the protective clothing you can give to your settlers. And then you've got distance to water, so one of the first things we've got to sort out is a water supply. You'll see once we get started anyway. And I'm going to go for short. That, I think, is probably the easiest settings you can start off with. It doesn't change the overall difficulty of the game, it just means that your starting conditions are slightly slightly less crap. Okay. Let me just give someone a poke. Okay, so what you can see in the background there is what you start off with. That is the only thing you start off with, is a bus and some settlers. So we can change the map size and have a large map. I'll have very low mountains, lots of lakes because that's lots of water sources, lots of forests because that's lots of wood, and lots of ruins because that's lots of scrap. Okay, so again, that's probably the sort of best starting conditions you can get. Not that it will make much difference to me because I suck. So off we go. It sort of does resemble, I think, some of the games that I keep seeing ads for on Facebook for, like, survival and zombie type settlement management games that you get on the iPhone, and they're pushing on Android and so on. I'm trying to get used to this multiplicity thing because now I've got a mouse that sort of flicks from this monitor, which is one computer, onto that monitor, which is a different PC. So there you go. We've got a bus, a little group of settlers, all in hazmat suits, and this is it. So we got wood, lots of trees, lots of scrap. All these piles of scrap. I can convert those into various things, and our water sources, which are also sources of food because we can go fishing in them as well as drink it. So middle mouse button puts you into rotate mode. Right mouse button drag, and then left click is do everything else. At the top, that's our resources, so we've got all sorts of resources we don't have any of. We've got like protective gear, we've got tools, scrap, wood, food and water, and those are sort of basic starting values of food and water. You can see a little... Oh, you might not be able to see it behind my ugly mug. Let's go here. So we can zoom in quite a way. And we've got things like wild animals that we can hunt as well. Okay, so let's try and start off as we mean to go on. So the first thing we need to do is obtain water. So down here on the bottom left, we've got buildings. If we build a jetty is a place to collect water, so we need to build one of those, and we need someone to store all the water. So let's build a cistern. And then let's build a jetty. R rotates. It's a shame you can't rotate using the mouse keys. It would be easy if you could do that. Yeah, only a couple of people are going over to do anything. So this other icon down here, professionals, is like distributing what people are doing, and we'll see this panel a lot. And we can just right click to whack that up to full. Down the bottom, some of these I don't really think I've twigged properly yet. There's a soil state, there's the amount of radiation around, whether the season, which is effectively keeping a track of how long we've been playing. Let's just go get the chat on the go. So now they're flagged as with these little hammer icons. That means that people are going to build them. So what they're doing, if we go and look, because we're playing this at standard speed, they're all taking our existing supplies of wood to go and build a cistern and this jetty. So you've got to clear a building area, then you've got to bring in the supplies to build it with, and then you've got to build it. Some of them have different requirements for what you can build it out of. So that's our first thing, obtaining a water supply. Second thing we've got to do is look at food. So let's get a little field on the go. The first thing you do that you see is these little rad icons. So the first thing everyone's got to do before we can actually build this, actually like plant the field, is actually clear the radiation off. So your little settlers have got to go in and clear off the radiation. Effectively, I think by just either, I don't think tilling the soil perhaps, but effectively getting rid of the topsoil that's got all the nuclear contamination in it. So we've built our jetty, but they haven't built the cistern yet. Is someone going to go do that? Yeah, there you go. So we've got a little dude with a hammer. Two little dudes with hammers. And now it's operational. However, we've actually got to have someone manning it. Someone that's got to go from the jetty, well, to the jetty, get some water, come back and put it in the system. So we need to go to our effectively task management here. Take a couple of people off building detail and stick at least one on water carrier detail. And then for this little farm we've got over here, oh, they're all standing on it because they've not got anything to do in it. You've got to choose what you're going to plant. So let's go for wheat. Choose the seed. And then again, we've got to stick at least one person on the duty of actually planting it and then harvesting it. This is going to get complicated. There's a lot to manage here, I think. And it feels very Frostpunk. I did try Frostpunk and I was shit at it. Okay. Just by the by, we've got 12 adults that we can have doing things. We've got 2 people, one person farming, one person on water carrying duty, 10 who are there just to build stuff, and then we've got 7 children as well. Which are all here, I think. All in or around the bus. So you can click on the individuals and it tells you what sort of their state of mind is. Right. So now we've got food and water on the go. We need to start collecting all this stuff. So that's electronics, plastics, metal, cloth, general scrap. We've got to start making all this other shit. So let us build, for resources, a scrapyard. This is, I think, sort of the starting thing that you need to get on the go. So down here we've also got, we can pause it, we can play it default game speed, double time, which is fast, or triple. sometimes it might be best to be going on default, but that's made nice and quick. So again, it's being built, but we've got to put someone actually on scrappy duty. So let's reduce our number of builders and tweak up to 2 scrap collectors. So at the top, we've got this level of scrap. But then to get cloth, metal, plastic, and electronics, which we need to build various things, we actually have to take the scrap and sort through it. So if we hold the mouse over there, cloth can be recovered from scrap. So you need either a refinery, which is a really big thing, which will do all different kinds, or you start with a small recycler, which can do one of those different material, one of those 4 materials at a time. So now I need to build something else. Let's build a recycler, and let's build it right next to it. I have a feeling, in the long run, the best bet is to build complementary things right next to each other. So you build the cistern right next to the water source, so that water carriers have got less distance to go. If you want to sort scrap, then you put it right next to the scrap yard, so that they've not got very far to transport all this stuff. Again, we need to stick someone on the detail. Now, I didn't have to reduce the amount of builders we've got. First of all, because we've actually got another adult, because one of the children has grown older and turned into an adult. But also because I think there's a large amount of double duty going on here. So if we find one of our minions, they're just a builder. But if we click on them, we might find that there's people who have actually got like 2 professions, current profession and next profession, who will swap between things, I think. A bit hard to tell. Yes, this game is in early access, so there are bits and things that don't really make a huge amount of sense, I have to say. But that probably will eventually. So I'm going to make another field this time. Oh, there's no radiation to strip off that one. This one is going to be an orchard, and we're just going to do apples for now. And we need to again get rid of that and get something, again, the farmer on the go. There we go. And you'll see that when there's not enough people doing it, it all goes red over here, which means we're not going to do anything. Okay. So at the minute, our water isn't looking good. We're down from 600 to 305. So let's take off a builder and stick someone else on water carrying duty, so because we need to get that up and going a bit quicker. Now we've got someone manning this, and it's by default on cloth, so they're going to try and make cloth. So we should see the numbers go up here, start going up, at least on that thing there. But if we want them to make anything else, we actually have to tell them to do something different. Now, let's just have a look at what we can build. So, we've got water sources. We've seen the cistern, we've seen the jetty. We can also collect rainwater. However, as you can see from the construction costs, that's going to take some plastic, which we don't have yet. Water tower, ditto. That also requires some charcoal. We can build a well, and that actually might not be a bad bet either. So let's stick a well right next to the cistern. So we've also got so with the well, we actually again have to stick someone on. We have to have a well keeper. And to make travelling around a little bit easier, we can also like create some dirt roads, which are a bit difficult to lay down. You have to left click once on where you want it to start. Now, I remember seeing these in Frostpunk. I don't know how important they were in Frostpunk. They don't really seem to take a huge amount to do, but let's get them on the go. Now, as I've found through playing this a couple of times already, a critical thing to be able to make for your minions is protective gear. Now, we started off with 15 of these hazmat suits, 13 adults at the minute and 6 children. We're going to run out of those. So we've got some cloth on the go now. Cloth is coming from the recycler, which is sorting that from the scrapyard. So if we look at resources, we've got the scrapyard, which is there to collect scrap. Forester's Lodge, which is there just to collect wood. Recycler, which is used to effectively convert scrap into the different materials. Workshop, which is to create tools. We've got 15 tools at the minute, but we're going to run out of those because they'll wear out and break. Tailor's shop, which makes protective gear and clothing. So let's get one of those on the go. Well, actually, no, let's not. Let's not get that on the go yet. So we've got some food on the go. What we could do with, though, we've got a lake. So let's go to food and create a fishing hut. Maybe a bit difficult to place. Oh, no. Damn it. There we go. That'll do. But, so you'll notice we've got our water going up again now from the low of 300-ish. Let's try and get our food on the go properly first. Right, logistics. Dirt road, let's have a dirt road. Hopefully this should sort of speed up people's movement. Maybe. I think that's what it'll do. No guarantees. So I'm sort of trying to move my mouse around to... There we go. Okay. So we've got everyone passing away. I'm running this on normal speed for the moment, but I might sort of jump it up and down, depending on what, I mean, let's get it on the go. Hurry up a bit. Just want people to... There we go. Okay. So we need to put someone on fishing duty. Bearing in mind at the minute we've got 14 adults that we need to look after and 5 children that we need to look after. At the moment we haven't created any accommodation either. I dare say people will start complaining eventually once we get a bit further on. Okay. We've got some cloth on the way. What we can do, housing-wise, is we can build a shelter, but we'll need a fair amount of wood for that. More wood than we've got, a little bit more wood than we got. I need some plastic. So I've got a choice here. I can either start collecting plastic so we can build a shelter, or we can make a tailor's to create some protective gear. Now at the minute actually no one's doing anything really, so let's see, what could we do? So in the resources we can just get wood. We can make cabins, we can make sturdy houses, which are a bit better, but require a bit of plastic as well, and take a little bit longer to build. We can build some community objects which boost confidence. If people aren't confident, they become grumpy. Logistics, we can create a warehouse. Now, I'm not exactly sure how these warehouses work. And I'm not exactly sure how the markets work either, really. The last settlement I had didn't have a market. The warehouse, we can keep resources because once, say, the well gets to 90,000, which I don't think it will, it's sort of effectively reached a sort of production limit, which again is something I'm not hugely clear on. But at the minute, oh hello, right. So now people are grumpy because we're building these things, but we've not built any houses for people yet. Okay, let's swap this over to plastic then. Right. On the housing, a small cabin in which settlers can live and start a family. Study house. A study house in which settlers can live and start a family. However, the shelter is not suitable for starting a family. At the minute we've got 14 adults, 5 children. If we build houses, the cabins, all the houses, they will start breeding. So we will get more children who will eventually change into adults, obviously. So we've got a population maintenance problem. These food levels, that looks a little bit low. Maybe that's going to go up at some point. And our water, we need to, if we've got more people, that'll go down quicker. So there's a huge balancing act to do here, which may or may not be very easy to do. So let's have a look. What else can we do? We need more food, I think. Right, I've changed that to plastic, so we've got 20 cloth. We'll get some plastic on the go. Let's instead look at food again. Got an orchard, got wheat. We've got a fishing hut on the go. We can do a hunting lodge, which will hunt wildlife. We saw those deer earlier. Actually, we can see them now, just down there at the right. Doe, stag, and so on. So we've got deer. Oh, we've got a gatherer's cabin, which will collect what you can see highlighted there, which is things like plants and berries and so on. Let's put one of these down somewhere. Let's put it there. I'm sort of lining up these entrances because they're going to create. I mean, we can sort of create explicit roads as well. I'm concerned that we need to sort of get our food on the rise because water's back to 550, which is not far off what we started with. Is about 600. Oh, and you'll just seen that the adults just glowed green because we've got a new adult, and children went down, not because one of them died, just because they grew older. Okay, let's bring up that standard speed. So again, we've got this, it says it's unmanned, so it's not going to produce anything, so we have to click on that until it all goes, the red goes away, and that means we've now got someone who will start wandering around gathering food. So food's going up slightly. Okay. So we've got 24 cloth, we've got some plastic on the go. We need another 2 rounds of plastic before we got enough to make a shelter. So let's just spin it up a little bit. all zooming around, very busy. Actually, that's okay. What should we do? Oh, now, yeah, we're up to 6 plastic. Yeah, they're only doing it 2 at a time, unfortunately. We can only have, like, there's a current and max number of workers that we can have on this, because we've only got the 1 recycling facility at the moment. In fact, let's change that up. Let us get another recycling facility on the go. Let's see if that helps. Okay, so let's go to manpower. Let's get rid of a builder and add on another refiner. So there's a refiner for each of the refineries, but you don't manage them on individually. They're so well, you sort of manage what each one is doing. So that one's doing plastic, that one's going to do cloth. But the workforce is sort of managed sort of globally across all your refinery buildings. So if you've got recyclers and refineries, then the workforce is spread across all of them, which is a little bit tricky to me to figure out. Right, so at the minute, okay, let's again spin it on so we can create that shelter, because we want to be able to get rid of that red flag at the bottom, complaining about the fact that we don't have enough housing for everyone yet. There's 19 people who demand housing, and that is effectively everyone, so there's 16 adults and 3 children. And that won't change until we produce some actual houses. Food isn't brilliant either. Let's get hunting lodge on the go. Right, and again, we need to get someone hunting for us. So at the moment, this is one. Well, the scrapyard by default starts off with a zone this sort of here, and that's where it will start looking for scrap. Your scrap retrieval people will start looking in that zone for scrap to recycle. Once it runs out, we're out of scrap. So what we can do is we can click this button down here, change field of work. When you move this, it highlights what scrap is in the area. So that's quite a lot of scrap down there. Let's change where that runs. And if we click on the hunting lodge, you'll see it's complaining because we need wild animals to hunt. So it says there's nothing nearby, so that's what's in the zone we've got. So if we change that, now as we move the circle around, it says hunting lodge, it says 600 resources. So I want to sort of keep it as close as we can, really, to the... It's interesting, it just goes from 0 to 300 to 600 there. So if we stick it about there, they'll start hunting. Oh, there we go. Got the... Oh, we got boar over there. Can't see anything else at the minute, but that sounds quite good. Okay, so we're reasonably good for water, not brilliant for food, but not really bad either. So let's get rid of that. Okay, so got hunting lodge, water. We still haven't got... Right, now. Our plastic's just gone up to 12, so let us go to housing. Let's create a shelter. Won't fit. Won't fit perfectly, so let's... Will it fit there? No, I didn't make enough room. Dang it. Yeah, let's stick it there. Why not? Sticker. I'm not completely sure how much putting these roads down is going to help things, but anything that makes it easier for people to move around instead of going around in these diagonals, the better. Not got a huge amount of wood. What we should see once we've finished building this is that that red alert advisory should go away. Right. Yeah, it's saying we don't have enough wood, so what do we need to do? We've got this tasks bit here which allows us to stick some locations down. There is something called gather all resources, which is get everything out of one area. I could do that there. But need people to do it. So let's get rid of a couple of those, and it automatically assigns those to start gathering resources. So let's spin it up a bit while we do that. Let's see the little minions start to zoom around, chopping down trees. Now they're taking all the resources to the central resource location, which is the bus. So we got, that was like, oh, I'm quite sure, I think that might be food of some kind. And then we got scrap, probably, and we got wood. So as they start to bring this stuff in, you'll see the different tasks and the different material levels. So this means we need 180 scrap to build this out of 194 that we've actually got. So we're going to need to ramp up our scrap production as well soon. It needs 12 plastic and 10 cloth. So all of those are already on site. They've brought the materials here. So we're just waiting for a bit more wood. Unfortunately, I was a bit indiscriminate. I just said collect all resources in that zone. Oh, there's some advisors that come up and say, basically, wouldn't it be a good idea to save your game? If you click on those, it automatically goes into your menu. So this is only the 5th time I've played this game, so 5th run, save 1. Annoyingly, it starts to rotate the map. Then when it finishes, it leaves you where it had rotated to instead of taking you back to where you were. I find that incredibly annoying. I put it there because that's the view I liked. So leave it there. This is, and take note of the, well, again, you can't see it behind because it's probably behind my ugly mug. Up to the top right, there is like a little mini map and it says early access on it. And if we go to the menu, it will say early access. This little ladybird at the top left is actually for sending feedback to the developers. So it gives you a little pop-up feedback form. Okay, how are we doing? Still not got enough wood, so let's spin up again. Alright, so we've only got one child left. So even if we do get this shelter finished, we're probably going to want to look at building at least 1, maybe 2 shacks or houses, because we're going to need to get them breeding effectively. Let's not put too fine a point on it. We need them to breed. Otherwise, everyone's just going to get old and die. And this is before we've even started making protective gear. So this game might just suddenly grind to a halt and everyone will die. So just, you know, apologies in advance if that happens. So they're knocking down trees and stuff. But come on, guys. Ramp it up a bit. Okay, we're seeing the wood going up. Come on. Almost there. See, the deer are just walking right up to us. Okay, almost there. One final push. One final little push. Come on. A bit more wood. Come on. Come on. Just a little bit more wood. A little bit more wood. Just 5 more wood. 5 wood. 5 wood. Hey! Not quite. Not quite, but it's not flagged as red. There you go. So we're up to speed on the materials, and now the little icon's changed to a little hammer icon, which means it's just waiting for someone to go and build it. Hopefully we should see... Yeah, there we go. Let's start to build it. So, what we can see is that water is almost twice what we started with, so that's good. Food is almost back to what we started, so that's reasonably good. That's, I'd probably say, stable. But, okay, so the little red icon's gone because now we've got 25. We've got everyone is now living in the shelter, so we've got 19 people in there in total. And you can look at all the individuals, the gender. Let's click on one of them. You can actually track them now. Now I can't remember. Yeah, right click to get it to stop doing that, because otherwise, and you can just left click on them. And it gives you some various stats on them. Trust me, some of these stats I think are a load of twaddle, but I think this game has got a distance to go, I think, before it is on full release. So we're still doing okay for food. Right, what should we do next? I think... yeah, probably one of two things. We either, I think... want to start building some... Let's build a cabin. So we can get some breeding. In fact, let's build 2 cabins. Get them on the go so we can start breeding. And we also want to get a tailor's on the go. We're really going to need this, because we're soon going to start running out of hazmat gear. In fact, that says we've already got less radiation gear than we started with. We started with, I think, 15, and we're down on that. So we now have no wood as well, so this might take a while. So the rest of the resources in this area are just wood. So let's get rid of that, and let's set the new task to be gather wood. Right. This is completely. We don't have any tailors yet. Well, we haven't built it, so I don't see that being a problem. And currently, we don't have very many people building, which is fine. Because actually, if they're not building, then they're doing all the associated tasks instead. So we've got a couple of these cabins ready to be built. They don't have any wood yet either, but they don't need much. See the occasional tree falling over. Let's speed it up. Try and get this done. Right, so at least one of those has now got all the wood and scrap it needs. Let's crank it up to 2 builders. Interestingly, what does this... Now, this says gather wood. Now, unfortunately, I think if we do this, we won't get... They won't replant the trees. So there's an advantage of having, instead of these tasks, there's an advantage of having this Forester's hut. So in the resources we've got a Forester's Lodge, and when we've got people on working for the Forester's Lodge, then they will replant what they cut down. Okay, so I've almost got a cabin on the go. So as soon as that cabin hits, yeah, there we go. So there's 2 adults, male and female, in there, and they've left the shelter. So what we can expect to see at some point, it's suddenly getting really, really wet. We can expect to see children suddenly appear. And there we go, we've got another 2. So those guys are up there chopping wood. And we've just got, yeah, they're building the tailor's hut. So, oh, not that, yeah. So sometimes I can't tell whether it's sort of tall or long. So what we're going to have to get the tailors doing as soon as that's finished is converting some of the cloth we've got into neck scars. So there's 3 levels of protection. You can either get rad suits, which are protection against like high level radiation. Medium radiation is these activated carbon masks, or neck scarves against low level. So let's get 2 tailors on the go, and then that means at least we're keeping everyone supplied, well, supplied-ish, with low level radiation gear. So we've got some plastic on the go. So we're looking quite good for water. We've got 1,625 in the bank, and not looking bad for food. I think we could make another field. So let's do that. Let's have something different. So I think we got wheat in that one. Actually, let's go with squash. So we've got three fields. Well, 2 fields in an orchard. So only 3 people working on them. And that'll be planting, waiting for them to grow, and then harvesting. Okay, not getting any kids yet. But otherwise that seems to be relatively good. I think we're doing too bad there. I've got ball coming in. What I'd like to see, I think, as this game sort of starts to progress, is whether they add in I mean, I'm hoping to see a lot more in the way of buildings, and perhaps some sort of network of unlocks, so that, like Frostpunk had in. So in Frostpunk you had to build X and Y before you could build Z, for instance. And it'd be nice to see them farming animals instead of just killing them. Because at the minute this just seems to be sort of rudimentary survival. And you build stuff and you just build it, that's it. That's all you can build and nothing else. There is the option for electricity, if we can render down, refine electronics. Oh, now resources. So We've got a... I think I did have... Yeah, we've got a gatherer's cabin. But what we could also have... Let's just ramp that up to 2. What we could also have is a herbal hut. So this can actually look after our health. So let's get one of those on the go. Let's have it next door to the hunting lodge. Now, yeah, we've not got any herbalists yet, but they have actually started to build it. Okay, so we need to assign someone to that, so let's up our workforce. And then it's got a certain zone which it can cover, so we can see that all these highlighted objects are nearby herbage. We can change the field work here, so we get it to look after more. Now, annoyingly, that was taking away from our builders, so we're going to be left with just a single builder. This is why we want them to start breeding a bit. Let's create... Let's build another cabin. I think we've got enough wood and so on to build it. Come on, you buggers, start shagging. So we're literally just waiting for our one remaining builder, who shouldn't actually be doing anything other than coming along to build this bloody thing. Come on. Where's the goddamn builder? Because I haven't seen any children appear yet. There we go. So this also tells us what they do. So one of those is a refiner. Oh, we just got a settler. Tailor. Gatherer. Okay, we've got a fair amount of plastic around. So let's swap this refinery over to... we can either do metal or... Oh, we got a couple of our first 2 children. There we go. Children help their families to transport food and water to their home. Next child... Childs? Slight typo there, that should be children. So let's swap this refinery, this recycler rather, over to be doing metal. I don't know what we're going to do with it yet, but we need to get some on the go. There's not a lot of scrap left in there. So let's change the field of work to be that for the moment, at least until they've run out. Now, this is slightly confusing because it says in stock, got 2070 water. There's a limit of 90,000. But this says it's up to its production limit, which I don't quite understand. The stockpile in this building is running low. It's not. It's about as high as it could be, because it then complains that you can't put. It's effectively saying you can't put any more in. So this does confuse me somewhat. Now, we could upgrade it into a water tower, but we need some charcoal, and charcoal needs wood. And it needs someone to burn it. So I'm wondering, actually, if I might just... We're looking good for water. We're not stuck for it. So I think maybe... Maybe. Shall we... No, that's good logistics. Let's put in a little bit of a dirt road here. Let's build another cistern here. So what was this doing? That was this thing here. Gather wood. No, there's hardly any wood left to gather. So let's get rid of that, and then let's change that to a gather everything, I think. For those left to do anything, of course. Now, water-wise, we can't actually have an irrigation system. I have not built one of these yet. But the way I understand it, in fact, we could just fit that in there, which I think would be a good idea. Let's stick it there. Oh shoot, I did that. We haven't actually got... cancel that. I haven't actually got enough plastic to do it. Oh no, it actually reserves the plastic to build it. So because this says that the soil moisture is dry, it's all very dry around here. The irrigation plant can actually improve the soil. I wonder if we're going to need that. I haven't built one yet. This will be the first time I've played the game and I have actually built one. So I've just finished building that cistern. There we go. So a cistern is just storing water. It's not creating it, it's just storing it. So that gives us some leeway for storing more. Everything is, I hate to say it, reasonably stable. Although I've probably just jinxed it there. So we've got food stabilised, water stabilised. Our population is relatively stable, with just 3 houses and one shelter. We're not running out of accommodation for everyone. We've got scrap that we can still collect. There's one dude bringing scrap back. So by clicking on the object, so if we clicked on, say, the herbal hut, it can point where our person is, and they've been gathering stuff and apparently taking it back to the bus. So all the central storage is in the bus, at least to start with. Let's upgrade that. I've not got a lot of wood, but at least until we build a warehouse, the only storage that we've got that isn't actually in the buildings themselves is the bus. Oh right, we haven't any builders. There we go. You see, that's a fine balance. So we need at least a builder to do that. If we reduce it to 1, that leaves 1 person doing the scavenging over here. Okay. Oh, now hang on. The hunting lodge says it's a bit need wild boars and roe deer, so whatever it's doing, it's now hunting in the wrong place. So let's just pause that, change the field of work, because I've just seen some deer over here. So we use that area now. So that should mean that starts producing again, which is important because just looked at the food, that suddenly dropped down to 62. Why has it suddenly dropped down so much? We're out of cloth. We're out of plastic, probably because we just upgraded the because we just upgraded that. We've used some of our resources, so we're running out of those. So let's see, what's that doing? That's doing metal. We got some metal. That's doing cloth. Hasn't got much. Okay, let's swap that back to doing cloth for the moment. Let's just slightly tweak that, because it's got slightly more that it can get out of that area. And at some point we're going to want to upgrade that to doing the carbon masks instead, but we don't have a source of charcoal yet. Oh hell, and we're out of tools. And we don't have a workshop, so... Right, so else we need to build then. Resources, workshop. So this is our first new building in a while. Let's stick that there. We want to keep this one quite close, I think, to the scrapyard. We need everything to make this. Oh, shit. So, actually, no, that needs to be metal. I'm surprised we haven't got any more children yet. I thought we'd end up with slightly more in the way of breeding, but I am running it probably a bit slower than I've run it in the past. I tend to hammer this on like triple speed just to get things done. Unfortunately, it means that on the other hand, you're then not thinking about things very well or noticing what's happening. Oh, right, so apparently that is now ready to construct. A lot of plastic, so that's cloth, that's metal. Let's get that back on cloth, I think. Okay, we need someone to work in the workshop making tools. So you can get them to make scrap tools, or we can make them make proper tools. I think proper tools is a good thing, because they last longer. Now, this one, the tailor shop is saying it's a product at the limit. So while it's doing that, if we've got enough, we haven't got enough wood at the minute. Let's look at where we can put a warehouse. Now the warehouse doesn't need anyone to man it, it's just there to store things. Fortunately, as usual, it requires a bunch of resources to make it, to build it, which you don't really have yet. And this is where things start to spiral a bit, because you think, well, okay, so if we need the wood, why don't we change it so that we've got, you know, a forestry lodge, and then that requires another person to man that instead of just gathering resources in general. Okay, oh hello. Right, gather resources, so we need to get all of a load of wood. Oh, we've got some more children on the way as well, which is brilliant. Good stuff. Okay. 23 minutes to get 100 wood. So let's demolish that task there. Let's go to task, gather wood. From here, oh, let's try and optimize it, because it tells you how much wood is in the area. Let's see how we're doing for water. We're doing okay for water, so maybe let's get someone on that. We're alright for scraps, so let's take one off that as well. So this should now have 2 on it. Let's spin that up a little bit. Oh, children, more children on the way. Yes, just reminding me to save. Yeah, okay. So at the minute we're not making anything because we don't have any cloth. Right, actually let's reduce that workforce. That should spin up our wood workforce. See, this is why I tend not to be very good at these games, because running it at this speed and actually paying attention to it like I am now, I'm able to absolutely micromanage the individuals who are doing everything. So I'm able to take people off doing that to go and do something else. Now if I'm running at a triple speed, you just don't see stuff like that coming. Otherwise, we are still looking fairly good on our water. Our water's still going up, even though I've reduced there's only one water carrier. Change field of work to this bit. Spin it up again. Don't think we're going to hit the target though. Just a shame because it keeps throwing these challenges into the mix. So basically it's saying in the next 12 minutes we want 100, another 75 odd wood picked up, and for that we'll get some herbs and we'll get some scrap. So we get like rewards, and I think it's a little bit similar to something in Frostpunk which it did, which is, you know, if you do X and Y within a certain time, you'll get some you know, additional resources, like an additional steam core or something like that. Actually, we're not doing too bad actually for that. What I've not done in the previous runs of this game is I really haven't paid any attention to these. And I probably ought to have done. So halfway there. It might just about hit it. So here's our warehouse. And that should be able to store overstock of some of the stuff we're producing in terms of scrap and cloth and things like that, instead of storing it in the bus. Which, if we go look at this inventory button, we can see what stock it's got of various things. So we've got meat, fish, scrap, mushrooms, berries, wood, all sorts of stuff stored in here. And we're going to run out of capacity effectively because it does have a limit. Whereas the warehouse has a bigger limit and obviously doubles what we've got. I think, given the wood situation, we probably need to look at actually getting a proper forestry lodge on the go. Because we're going to need to make a charcoal kiln to make charcoal that's going to be able to give us the ability to make the activated charcoal masks. There we go. So we got those extras. Awesome. So what we got? Scrap. We've run out of scrap, so we need to give this a new location to start retrieving scrap from. It's going to be a bit of a way, but oh, there we go. There's a nice healthy amount of scrap. Lots of abandoned cars and so on. In the meantime, let's demolish that. Workshop. Workshop needs metal, so let's look at our recycler. That one's making cloth. That one's making cloth. Let's swap that one over to metal, because we're going to need these tools. Still got a fairly stable population, 19 adults. Unassigned workforce, 4. Ooh. Right, now. Right, let's make, then, charcoal kiln. So we start making charcoal. Spin it up. there yet. Although we've got plenty of scrap. See, I'm not sure how these production limits work really. So why can we change the limits? Sort of, you know, why is there a point to do that? Why would you need to? Okay. Yeah, it's okay. We haven't got anyone assigned to things like that yet, but still fairly good for water. Although, actually, let's take off a builder and let's get another water carrier on the go, because 1600 is lower than we've been. So I would be happier if we had more. Okay, now we have the charcoal burner. Let's get a charcoal burner on the go. So they're going to go get wood and then convert the wood into charcoal. And at that point, the tailor can start making activated charcoal masks. So actually, let's swap that over to that. Now, I think that works. Inventory. See, that only says we've got in stock 4 of those. So what's the where's all those next guys? Ah, right. In stock 50. So yeah, the additional stock has gone over to the bus. Now, I am going to do something for the community, and that is put in a campfire. So this is meant to like improve this confidence thing. Quite sure how that works, but I think it's like, you know, just generally, how happy are they? So let's spin up and get that built. Again, we're looking at a very stable population. Although I'm running it a lot slower than I have done in the past. The population looks really quite stable. Only 19 adults and 6 children, and I was surprised I haven't had more. Come on, start hammering. There we go. I don't know. See, that might mean that we do get more children. Possibly. Okay, so how are we doing? Water could be a little bit better. Everything else, got metal on the go, plastic on the go. No electronics yet. What don't we have anything of? Oh, we don't have any tailors on the go now. We've got charcoal now. So I want to get rid of the builder and get a tailor on the go to make those charcoal masks. And let's get another recycler on the go. So that makes 3 recyclers. And this one I'll have getting electronics for the moment. Logistics. Let's get a dirt road and extend that there. I did say I was going to do a forestry lodge, didn't I? Did I? Did I actually get the forestry lodge built? Or did I just blank that out of my brain? I think I must have done. Yeah, I just completely forgot about that. I was going to build a forestry lodge, and I didn't. Shit. Because we're going to need a lot of wood. Logistics. Oh, right. So a couple of those children have now matured, so we've now got 21 adults. So we've got more adults on the go. Let's... I'm just going to sort of make things a bit of a squeeze, but if we put a road round there, it might make everything a bit more accessible. Because I think we need to get some better wood supply on the go. In fact, yeah, I know we haven't got any foresters. There's no forestry hut yet because we haven't built it. Let's set a task going, gather wood, and that's probably closer to... Oh, hang on. No. Let's change that to here. Try to sort of keep it in range of the settlement, really. Because I need wood to make both of these. So it looks like it's going to do the recycler first, because that's the first thing I asked for. Okay, so we're going to have that one making electronics. So we're looking good for cloth, and we're looking reasonably good for plastics. Don't need a lot of metal at the minute, so that's all good. Right, so some of the wood's on the go. Almost there. See, it's only a guess that the settlers move quicker when they're walking along the dirt roads, and that by building them, it gives them a sort of quicker route. I don't know, some of them still seem to be sort of going wherever the hell they please. Right, so let's crank that down. Now I want to reforest. So for the moment, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to replant. Well, right, another task. Gather wood. Okay, well, we need to sort of... Yeah, I mean, that's actually something we need to do anyway. Who have we got? There we go. So don't need any builders at the minute because we've got nothing to build. I'm not trying to build anything. What's the storage like? See, sometimes I wonder why the herbs aren't being moved over to there, because clearly we're... Oh, right, we've got total production limit. Yeah, screw that. Actually, let's just swap that over to cut down and reforest. Might as well. And let's whack on another onto the workforce. See how well we do. Oh, we've got more children on the way. At the minute, we've got 22 adults, 4 children. However, we've still got space left in the shelter. Oop. And these 3 cabins are occupied. It looks as though those 2 haven't managed to create any new progeny. Let's stick a little bit of dirt road down. And we'll create another house. We're taking a risk every time you put down a house or a shack, cabin. You're taking a risk that in the long term we're going to start running out of... We're going to screw up the balance of our community. Which is just something I think we need to be very, very careful of. It's interesting as well, I found, actually. If we go and just look at the Forester's Lodge, so we could just clear all the trees. We could just take down the trees, that's it. And I'm assuming that that'd actually be quicker than if we reforest, cut down and reforest. But we're all about creating a sustainable relationship with the surroundings. So if we just knock down all the trees, then we've got to go further to get wood that we need for all sorts of different things. So it is an obvious point that you need to be careful with how you manage the local resources. Now, there's probably a limit to that. which comes up when you start looking at the scrap issue. Scrap isn't going to come back. It's not going to, respawn. Once you've got an item, once you've recovered some scrap, you've recovered the scrap. That's it. The scrap's gone. So I think that there's to be there's sort of a limit, I think, to what you can do. But then I think further down the development track of the game, they may improve on that. So, how's that task looking? 9 minutes. We're not far off. I think we're going to make that. We are having to go a little bit further for the wood, but and of course the charcoal burner is using some of the wood when it comes in as well, so it's sort of going to go up a bit and then go down again. Come on, I want it to be going up a little bit more than it's going down. At the minute we haven't got any charcoal. Come on. Just a little bit further. Excellent. There we go. Right. That was wood gathering. Let's get rid of that. And let's see how we are personnel-wise. We've got no builders. We need a couple of builders to build that new cabin there. Otherwise, I think we're looking really quite good. We've got good food reserves, good-ish water. All the things we can do now, because we've got charcoal on the go. Is upgrade one of these cisterns, but I'm a little bit loath to do that. Let's drop down another bit of dirt road. And we're going to build a rainwater collector. Because we've got the plastic to do that. Oh, we've got some unhappy people. Now this gets a bit tricky. Because I don't think at the minute that this has been thought out well enough as far as the game's concerned. So they're infertile due to old age, and they've not been able to bury someone. Now, for some reason, although they've got food and they've got water and they've got housing, they're still pissed off. I don't think. Right. Okay. Maybe we do need to start looking at electricity. So, what do we need to make a solar collector? Well, we've got all the stuff we need for that. So let's whack one of those down. Next to our water thing. Because apparently the fact that everyone's got their homes are powered seems to be a good thing. Fortunately, yeah. See, suddenly that the unhappiness grows, and it looks like we lost someone. Someone died, possibly of old age. And see, this is the thing. It's it tends to their individual needs. We also don't have a school yet for the small number of children that we do have. Now, it's a bit unclear. From looking at the guide, the internal guide on the game, if we have a school, the children become educated adults. Educated adults have put different levels of wear on their protective gear, their tools last longer and things like that. So, again, the tricky bit is that it's going to upset the balance. Right, so they're building that rain thingy. Let's see if by getting the solar collector on the go, and we need to build some pylons. Must build pylons. Hopefully that should distribute the power round fairly well. Come on. Of course, as soon as you start building these extra things on, and you need more people to look after it, this is where the balance starts to fail. I think we're going to need to put in another cabin because we're drifting a little bit on the population front. Yeah, okay, I'll save. Okay. Right, the solar collector's coming up. Okay, so I've got a solar collector. So I've only got 2 unhappy settlers left. One of them... See, I don't like the fact that you've got a +4 to these two, but then these are... The fact that there's no symmetry is -3. That seems a little bit excessive, I'm afraid. Especially because none of the... Oh, there's one happiness that's more than +1. So, let's spin on just a bit more. There we go. Okay, we've got a child's matured, but then again, we've only got one child now. Come on. Okay, so it's not powered yet. And we're probably going to need to put another pole over here. Let's just stick a dirt road down there as well. Okay, what can we do? What can we do? What can we do? Yeah. I mean, that's only a little thing. I think that I'd prefer that the balance said that, you know, not having a cemetery isn't quite as bad as all that. Compared to the positive buffs. Because the problem with building a cemetery is that, again, it'll upset the balance because we need a settler to be a mortuary attendant. A mortician. Shit. Okay, there we go. We've got a bunch of unhappy people. I think that's all because of the dead people. So, okay. See, unfortunately, putting in a cemetery doesn't help those who have already are already unhappy because, yeah, see, we're getting a lot of unhappy people now. We've just had an adult die. Yeah, this is looking tricky. It could go sideways. So again, they've been able to visit the campfire. They've got a home. According to that, it's not attached to a power grid. But it is. Oh, it's because they still haven't built this one. Build next, you little gits. Come on. Yeah, there's another death. So, it's still not powered. Looks like we're going to have to... That's so annoying. Unfortunately, we're down to 19 adults. We've lost some people. So this is starting to affect everything. This is the problem with this game, is that as soon as you start to just very gently shift the balance, a lot of things start to happen a lot quicker. Right, I'm just going to take a very quick break. Be back in a few minutes. Okay, back. So yeah, it's looking like age might have just toppled things over. See if things start to improve once we've got the cemetery going. See, there's these people which are unhappy because they're old age. Now, neither of these, I don't think, apart from building the pub, there's no way to negate these because they are, that's not going to improve because they're not going to get younger. And that's not going to improve because even though we've created the cemetery, they're still dead. Okay, so we've got some scrap collecting to do. And it gets us some wood and... oh, tools. Not that we need them. So we're good for food. Okay, let's try adding the pub in. Build that next. Because we've got the resources to build it. Number of unhappy people has gone down. I think that's because every individual is going to go up and down, because once they visit the campfire, that means their positives go up a bit, and that might cancel out one of the negatives. Maybe. Right, so we're good for water, so let's reduce our water carrying. Now we've got a pub keeper. So with any luck, that might improve morale once people are able to visit the pub. Because unfortunately we haven't got any children left. Now, young adult and old adult. Well, I mean, they might manage to breed, I suppose. Very old, not likely to breed. Not likely to breed. Again, we're kind of stuck in this. We're gonna have to create another shack pretty damn quick, otherwise everyone's just gonna die. And it sort of leaves you in a position where after a certain point you might just be utterly stuffed. There's no way to come back from it. I think it's a similar problem that I saw in Frostpunk is that if you don't plan to improve some of these things quickly enough right at the start, you might actually leave yourself just completely buggered. No unhappy people. They've all been able to visit the pub. Great. Right. So who we got in there? 2 young adults. That might mean we get more kids on the go. Might. So yeah, this is gonna be a bloody close shave if we manage to keep this going. Might be able to make some rad suits, so cloth, metal, swap that over to plastic. We don't need the electronics anymore, I don't think. Yeah. This is going to be damn tight. And that's if they have children. It's all on one little cabin. You guys better have kids, or else we're screwed. Lots of them. Two adults. Yep. Let's create another cabin. Because otherwise we're just going to lose this because just everyone's going to get old and die. Shit. Oh, bollocks with stuff of wood. Needs trees. Shit. Okay, right. We need all the wood we can get at the moment. Because we need to build a fucking cemetery. Which we don't want to have to build in the first place. At least it means that if any of the adults die now, any of their relations aren't going to feel all mopey because they weren't able to bury them. It's a nice mechanic, but you've just come out of like a bunker into a post-nuclear apocalyptic wasteland. And the thing that makes you most annoyed is that your relative died and you weren't able to bury them. No. No, I don't like the balance on that. I don't like the balance on that at all. It's a little bit... it feels a little bit too contrived, that does, really. Still no kids. Come on. Shag! Shag, you bastards. Shit, there we go. We've got one more dead. Not got enough wood coming in. That's another dead. Shit. We're still focusing on this bloody cemetery. See, also, this will be quite a feat if we manage to pull it off and actually bring this back from where we are now. Oh, shit. I didn't even see the mission task for that, actually. I think there might be a bit of an issue in that there's some things that don't come up. That was a failed mission that I didn't even see. And I've been getting those in previous sessions. There's something about mounds of garbage, but there's nothing in the task list. I mean, yeah, okay, we've got some unhappy settlers, but that wasn't what caused that. That was in the task list, and there wasn't a task. So I already think there's a bit of a bug in there, because it doesn't tell you about these things. See, again, I think that's like, yeah, they're infertile due to old age, but you can't do anything about that. That's old age, it's life. So I don't like some of these negative buffs. Right. Young adults. Oh, they're not going to breed. Maybe. Doubtful. No. Maybe. Doubtful. Yeah, I have a feeling I've just missed the mark on this one. I didn't build enough cabins quickly enough to get into breed. Yeah, there we go. Someone's died through old age. Yeah, one of them was the barman. The barman's died. Yeah. I think unless these start breeding damn sharpish, we are not gonna recover. It's all the same thing. It's clearly one of the first things we've got to build is a graveyard. I think that's going to be something that I need to look into for the next run, is just building a graveyard right at the start. So stupid, really. Don't agree with that at all. Yeah, I think... Yeah, I'm just not going to get there, I think, at this point. Well, at least we've got someone looking after the graveyard. Wow. Yeah. The problem is that I suppose you've got to be able to. You've got to be able to see that it's unrecoverable at an early point, because otherwise there's just no point. So they're grumpy just because they're grumpy. There's things you cannot do anything about. There's no way to rewind both of those. Now, an expedition. There is no mechanism yet in the game to do expeditions. It's something that they haven't built yet. So, not helpful. That, again, See, that's supplied with electricity. That is, and that is. They're all supplied with electricity, so... See, they should all be getting that. Ugh. I need to make some notes about this then, really. Yeah, so Keith's home is supplied with electricity. So he should be getting an extra buff. I don't even know what that is. Ugh. Yeah, so basically let's just spin on, because I don't think there's anything I can do now. Because all of the adults are just gonna die. So, there we go. Brian, very old adult. He's not gonna breed. They aren't. She won't. She's our own. They might. Holy shit, we had some kids. Fucking hell. Oh boy. Okay. We might. They've had a kid as well. Fucking hell. We finally got there. Jesus. We've got this icon. This is telling us that there's going to be a drought soon, but we're well off for food, considering how many people we've got, and we're well off for water as well, neither of which concerns me much. Yes, thank you. God, need to get rid of that notification thing. Needs to be something to clear the notifications. So I need to be able to make some notes on this, actually, because suddenly I've started waffling all this stuff. Get the other laptop on the go. Three children. There's 3 children. So they've had one. So have they. And so have they. So there's a very, very slim chance we can all pull it back. So I'm just going to crank up one note on me netbook here. Eventually, once it pulls itself together. Oh, it's decided it's not connecting to my Wi-Fi. Fucking will connect, you bag of crap. There we go. It's just a waiting game now, because we don't need to produce anything. The only thing we could possibly do is maybe don't need any wood, so let's get us a barman. Oh shit. Right, we had a couple of adults die on us. Again, that'll be old age. At least they've been buried. Oh, fuck off. So I'm going to So I'm making some notes. I think I'll feed it back to the developers about the fact that there's no way to recover from those 2 debuffs. You know, if there's no way to recover from the fact that they've not been able to bury a relative and they are old, then that implies that you have to have had the foresight to put something in that you didn't want to have to build. And again, that sort of affects the balance, because you've got to have to be able to manage the cemetery, you've got to have a mortician. And that means taking someone out of rotation on doing all the other tasks. That's... yeah, that's a bit shit. Gather scrap. Scrap stored. Don't know if I can be asked. And it's not as if we need anything. Well, I could probably do with wood, but it's not going to kill us, the fact that we don't have any. Let's just spin. Because there's not a lot I can do with any of these people now. Unless we're going to get any more children. We're still at least making food. Fact, yeah, now let's take that off. Let's do hemp. Choose seed. Harvest that. Oh, they are already harvesting, so let's accelerate that a little bit. Because with hemp planted, we can boost. Well, actually, I think all of these boost confidence. Although actually, that says it boosts the confidence. That just brightens mood, but fuck it. Let's see what happens. It's not going to be able to produce any yet because I haven't actually harvested any. It's interesting that the developers thought that making trucks was a good idea. Shit, there we go, there's another death. Shit. Okay, we're good for food, so let's deactivate that. Let's deactivate that. So it's just the hemp. Now we just hit a drought as well, so the lake's dried up. So that means that actually we didn't have any working in it anyway. We've got no water incoming either, but again we're okay because we've got plenty of. Oh, say that. I don't know how much. That amount of water might be okay. We have got the rainwater catcher. That might keep us going. Oh shit. Alright, someone died. They became very unhappy very, very briefly and then died. there we go, there's another. We're lucky to have anyone left alive. Maybe I should have done school earlier as well. Let's just see how long it takes before everyone dies. Okay, hang on, who we got? Can't actually see them on the map. Oh, there they are. Now you see, if they go into they go into the pub. I'm sure they just had another buff. So but that hasn't changed. The fact that their home is still being supplied with electricity. So it's like, if they go away from it, does that then negate that buff? And that's because that's Isabel. Isabel, where does Isabel live? Well, she doesn't live there. Keith? What? And that's powered. So, yeah, that's a bit shit. Don't like that. Because that's sort of... So that looks as if we might not get anything out of that. Unless the end of the drought changes things. Come on. Oh, we got another child on the way. So we don't need any builders. Let's just have someone dealing with water. Oh, and we got another child. Fucking hell. We might just pull this back. It's going to be a fucking miracle, but we might just about pull it back. Alright, we're at the limit of tools. Okay, let's take them off. Tool making. And... let's get back up. No, hang on. No. Now let's... get back on water. So, oh jeez, we are actually, now we've actually got some crop yields now, so it's pissing it down. Yes, now we've got moist soil. Okay, this is going to be so riding so far on the edge at the minute. Yeah, water's going up again. Got more water coming in. Oh, yeah, fuck off. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, that's the other bit of feedback. So that message is about a task that we never had. It never appeared in the task list, so I think it's a little bit unfair. Mission, yeah, failed mission task, but there wasn't a mission. So yeah, I don't like that. Don't like that at all. That's shit. That's a serious bug that they've got to fix. Because I don't like being. Well, I don't know. I've got to season 23 actually, and I think I've done quite well. But I had a lot of mid game, well, mid in terms of this, where we got to deaths and just old age. So I wasn't getting enough breeding in. So at the minute, I've got 9 adults left and 5 children. So it's going to be a very, very close run thing if we manage to survive this at all. We've got plenty of food. We've got plenty of stock, though. Plenty of food. And other bits and bobs. You know, I mean, Brad protection, other stuff. I mean, not real of plastic, but otherwise we've got a stable system which doesn't actually need anything going in. Yeah, it's... Well, I'm making some notes about some bugs I need to report. So, first off, we got some people that end up grumpy, and you click on them and it says their house isn't powered, and then you click on the house and it is powered. And a few moments before, it was showing the buff on them, but then it decided not to. So, I think there's some issues with some of the debuffs. I also don't like the fact that the negative confidence for being infertile due to old age is a little bit unfair, given that there's not a lot you can do about old age. And also the debuff for not having buried a relative you can't solve, because even if you build the cemetery, it doesn't get rid of the debuff on those people who have already had relatives die. So I think that's a bit unfair. It's also a -3 instead of maybe a -2, which means you get a lot of people grumpy very quickly. And there's also that task which keeps coming up, talking about mans of garbage, but I was never told. I've only realised that today. The fact I kept seeing that message yesterday, I thought maybe I missed the task. No, I didn't miss the task. It was never there. So we're down to 8 adults. There's no one left in the shelter. Oh, Keith's dead. Shit. Clicked on that just as Keith died. Okay, who's left? That's an empty cabin. That's only got 1. Yeah, I think it must be bugged in some kind of way. I think I don't like that debuff because it's not properly managed, I think, in the game code. So yeah, a little bit of shit. She's not going to breed. Why doesn't she move over there? And then they can have another kid. They might have another. Jesus. 73, yeah, that's a fair old whack through. Now, I hadn't thought about that. I mean, you could upgrade it to sturdy house, but I don't think that's going to improve anything, or not. Interestingly enough, I've got to season 23. I haven't had a sandstorm yet at all. I've had 1 drought. But yeah, I think the only thing I can do now is just spin on. Let's see what happens. Because I mean, looking at the balance, that's 12 people. That's 12 people I've got, and it's, if I recover from this, it's going to be a fucking miracle. Although, you know, I mean, this is the thing. If we get any more adults in, it's like everything's already built. So it's like, you know, it's not like I've got to build anything for them. The fields are already planted. All they've got to, there's enough stock to keep them going for several seasons. So it's just a question of, well, yeah, but that's the thing, mate. It's like, I've come down to 7 adults and 5 children. It was at, I think, maybe 15 adults and no children. Oh, well, yeah, they don't. Well, yeah, could be. I mean, I think when I got down to 15 or 16 adults, no children, I thought, you know, we're probably not going to recover. But then, you know, I had a few surprise births come in, and suddenly, you know, we're motoring again. So it's like, if these 5 children mature before the adults die, we might just about manage it. It's like I say, it's. Yeah, I mean, I think my mistake was not. I was trying to maintain the population, you restricting it to the low, just to the shelters. And I think if I'd made a couple more shacks a little bit earlier, I'd have probably been all right. But I think the thing is that because there are these other bugs and issues, it's. I mean, it's nice that they've put in a patch that affects some of the balancing, but I think there's still some issues which are not helping. Let's have a look at the. I mean, look at that. You know, there's no one doing anything, but then again, no one needs to do anything. It's not. I don't know if we really need a forester as such. There's actually still a herbalist. There's 1,040 herbs. We do not need a herbalist. We don't need a charcoal burner either at this point. Let's just see what happens. Oh, yeah, actually, one of those can do that. Let's harvest that. Can we get any hemp on the go? Any joints? Let's get some joints. Let's get some joints on the go. Hey, Jams. Come on, come on. Right. So there's someone tazzing back to the pub. Right, so we've got 5 joints in production. Does that do anything for us? Does that mean more babies? They're idle. Oh, stop being idle. Go and do something. The only downside is I haven't got a school, so... Oh! We just had another couple of kids. So, we've got 7 adults, 7 children. It might just work. It might just work. It's like the only reason I haven't given up and just quit the game now is that there's just a very tiny possibility. Very tiny. That we might just pull it back. Yeah, 2 of those have just grown into adults, so we've got a couple more adults on the go. Let's see what we can do with those. Water's dropping a little bit. Let's get another water carrier on the go. Another farm. Oh no, we don't need another farmer. Don't need another farmer. We don't really need anything. It's like, it's almost maintainable as it is. We've got a forester. We don't need a well keeper. Don't think. don't need food. That's the thing. We've got 24,000 food of various kinds, so we don't need any of that. So I don't need to fiddle with the food. I don't really need to fiddle with the resources. I've only got a bit of plastic, so... But we've got 61... We've got 50 charcoal masks, so... We could poke someone on Taylor, and we could, yeah, just build rads. Just do rad suits. And that'd mean that if we do have a sandstorm, no one's going to die from that. So we're up to 10 adults, 4 children. Right, no joints, so let's harvest that. Harvest the hemp. I didn't know anyone was recycling. Plastic. And then, because we need that for the rads. It's like just hanging on by my fingernails. Let's spin it up a bit. Thing is, there's not going to be anyone left, I think, who had anyone die before we had the cemetery. So as long as we've always got mortician, I don't think there'll ever be, or there shouldn't be, anyone who has the unburied relative debuff. Yeah, I think we're still good. How many of those? 7 rad suits. Still got plenty of tools. They're all metal tools. Only thing I think we could probably do with is a school. I don't really want to make one. Hello. Gather resources. How about no? It's, yeah, the only thing we really need from there is the wood, and we don't need the wood. In fact, actually, that's something we can do. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. Nuts. The barman's got the clap. They're now old adult, and they've got a disease, so shit. Yeah, minor illness. I don't know if they'd come back from that or not, but we haven't got a medical station. Medical thingy-bob. So I'm not sure there's anything to do with that. Other than hope it goes away. Yeah, it's going to be pretty knife edge even if we do manage to pull it back. Let's build. I mean, I don't know why I'm doing it, but let's put in a school. Although we need wood for that. Okay. It's a bit of a fucker that's the barman that fucking got the illness. Where's the thingy? Forester's Lodge, change field. So let's just grab the local trees instead. Is this enough? Fucking scared the shit out of me. So at least the 4 children that we get, the 4 children that we've got rather, might end up being intelligent adult, educated adults. I think it classes them as. Come on, one more wood. One more wood. One more wood. I don't like it because it's affecting the balance. It's, you know, it's changing the balance, which is, I think, why this game is so fucking twitchy. It's so finely balanced. Okay, we're just waiting for the one remaining builder we got. Josh. Do not need that fucking bell when you click on the school. Right, so let's see, we can pull off. Let's get rid of that builder. Let's stick a teacher on, so at least those 4 children will be educated. That might. Oh, I fucking hate that bell. Come on. They might still have another. They've still got capacity for another. So have they. That won't. That's the barman. Let's harvest the hemp now. Let's get some joints on the go. No. No. Maybe. No. Sadly. No one in there, at least. Fuck. See, I'm not worried about droughts now because there's enough stock. There's enough water in tow that we don't need to worry about a drought. We got another child. We've got another child. Who was that? Yeah, it was them. Right, cool. I've got a couple of almost young adults. Now, is there... Sadly, there isn't an empty cabin, I don't think, for them. No. That's actually surprising. We're in the position that we could do with another cabin. No. Oh, yeah, alright. Why not? I'm overwriting that save, but I don't care. Could we build... We can build another cabin. Seems absolutely daft to be doing this at this point, but fuck it. I mean, we might as well, because we can, I think. If it means that we can just get that one extra family on the go. There's no one actually in that, so we've got the school on the go. Yeah, we've got more adults. Okay, so build a couple of builders, right? Got builders. Right, food has dropped below 2,000. Don't know if that's an issue yet or not. Right. Okay. Okay, we don't need a builder. So let's get a farmer on the go. That means that those squashes can be harvested. Okay, we're still good for tools, we're still good for protective gear, we're still good for herbs, cloth. Not got plastic. Okay, we don't need... I think we can get rid of that other builder, so let's get rid of that and get the refining back on the go. So 12 adults and 5 children is almost the same as what you start the game with. So, might just... maybe. Fuck off. Ooh. No protective clothing. There's shitloads of this stuff. Oh. Oh, okay. Right. Cloth. Now, let's turn off that one, which means that one's fully manned. That's cloth, and that means we'll need to resurrect the tailors. Okay. Yep. Okay, I think we're good for that. We should be okay. We didn't really need the cloth, the cloth to be recycled. We just needed the tailor to start making the neck scarves. Yeah, so next scarves on the go. Yeah, okay, so that alert's gone. We're still good for water, we're still good for food. Food's on the rise. Everything else is more or less stable. So we could do with just another... I mean, actually, you know, we've got... That's empty. So we've got... worryingly, I don't like to say this phrase, but we've got breeding capacity. I think they're just about, yeah, they're just about to start harvesting the hemp. And they might have another. It's disturbing when you're looking at a game and thinking, well, when are my settlers going to get shagging again? So, looking at the season thing on the bottom, it looks like we've got a drought on the way, but again, I'm not concerned about that at all. It shouldn't affect us in any way. I'd expect to see another couple of deaths though soon, because we must have like at least a couple of 2 or 3 of those adults will be very old. yeah, we knew the drought was coming. And ooh, oh right, that's just right now. There's highly contaminated rain. We haven't had much trouble from radiation so far in this run, I have to say. Oh, 6 children, so someone's bred again. We've got 3. We've got 2. Looks like it might be in that one. This is not those. Those might have another. So take us up very, very slightly. I think we had another child, but just at the same time we had a child become an adult, so... Right, what do we need? What do we need? Again, we don't really need anything. Let's get some charcoal on the go, because we need those for the masks. Got plenty of masks, though. I mean, I'm probably going to need it for the rad suits. Do we need it? Charcoal? We need charcoal for the rad suits. So we'll be able to build some more of those once we get up to stock on the next scarves. In fact, we've never upgraded one of the systems to be to do filtering. But then again, we've not had enough radiation that we've needed to worry. Oh, someone else has become an adult. Back on the recycling. $14 adults, 6 children. That's, I think, more than we start with. It's looking good. It's looking just about enough to claw it back. I suppose the thing is if I claw it back too much, we're going to have a low. Yeah, all these cabins are full. They're going to be breeding like rabbits, and we're going to find it difficult to manage. What's the task? 50 herbs and whoopie-doo. 30 scrap. Admittedly, we don't have a lot of scrap. Scrapyard's not even operational at the minute. There's no one on scrap duty. Let's change that. Let's... what can we reduce? Actually, I don't want to reduce any of that. Shit. We're not actually in the drought yet, so I don't want to affect the water carriers either. Reasonably good for wood. Let's get rid of that. Let's get back to scrap collecting for the moment. I need to keep an eye on the wood level. Spin. think the thing is to make sure that we've always got like that means we don't have any empty cabins at the minute. But I would guess that that one's probably going to become empty soon. And that one. Why they can't share, I don't know. So we're just about to hit a drought season. There we go, legs dried up. So probably, actually we're not taking too much of a hit on water because we've still got the rainwater catcher going. Oh bloody hell, we're up to scratch on joints. Let's make some hard liquor. So we've got joints in stock. That's kind of annoying, is the fact that apparently the pub has someone's got to go in the back. They can't just go in the front. That's slightly odd. So you've got to have a front and back entrance set up. That's a little bit of a oversight, I think, maybe. So don't need the hemp. Let's choose something else. If we do wheat, we can make beer. So it's probably going to be a good use of the time. Shit, that's our first sandstorm coming in. And none of these houses are sturdy houses. Crap. Yeah, fuck. See that coming in. Yeah, that's bad. That's very bad, I think. So I think we might need to look at how we're organising things. Shoot. How good are we for those? Okay, let's knock a tailor off because we need a builder. Because we need to repair that. We need to get the homes back up to scratch because otherwise people will get grumpy. That's the only thing you've got to build. So why aren't you repairing it? Right. Repair that. Because I do not want people to get grumpy. That would be bad. I think one of the debuffs is house is severely damaged. I mean, I don't think any of these are severely damaged as such, so it's probably not that bad. Again, it sort of needs repairing, but not that much. It's not clear, I think, how much, if any. Yeah, there you see, you've got one. Got one grumpy bastard. Oh, seriously? I'll get stuffed. No, you see, that's a lie, because I'm pretty sure that since she's been alive, the cemetery has been there and operational, so fuck off. I don't like that -3 buff for that. That sucks. Shit. Because there's nothing to, apart from going to the pub, that's just going to sit around and just annoy me. Oh, fucking, I hate that. No, hang on. Shit. Right, repair next. And it was me thinking that debuff was going to come from the bloody house. There's no noise or anything either that tells you whether... Oh, well, right. A child just transitioned into an adult. Right, please tell me there's no one in there. Right, okay. Young adult. So still got chance of more children on the way. Young adult, not likely. Oh, that's one empty. That one's empty anyway, so okay. Very old adults. Let's see. They aren't likely to breed. There was obviously a gather wood task which I completely ignored. I'm going to make sure that all the cabins are repaired first, and before I start worrying about anything else. Yeah, it's like nothing's affected their efficiency in any kind of way. There must be a gathering hut somewhere around. Doof. Yeah, yeah. And there seems to be, that's what worries me about this game, is that there's going to be a point after which, I mean, 95% infertility, unless you actually have got either two children or young adults, or even, unless you've got a male or female who aren't infertile, then at that point you might as well just shut it down and delete it, because okay, be extreme, but yeah, at that point the game, your game is not recoverable, because everyone will die and you won't breed. So at that point, why bother? So I think you've got to. There's got to be a sort of appreciation, I think, of the fact that at some point it'd help if the game actually worked it out. The fact that you were, going to reach this point where you wouldn't be able to do anything. Let's see. Ooh, short of cloth. Well, we just had an adult die. Rats. Well, there's a grumpy bastard. Who is it and why? Yeah, you see, that sucks, because there's a couple of things that having that as a -3 is overdoing it, because it just knackers in these fairly standard core buffs. They've got a roof over their head, they've got food, and they've got water. Frankly, the fact that they haven't been able to bury a relative, which frankly is a lie, because we've got the mortuary, there's space, so that's just bullshit. It seems very unfair. I don't like that game balance, to be honest. That game balance blows. Let's swap over to beer, because we've got wheat on the go. Yeah, let's harvest that. Get the beer on the go. Right, what's going on here? Need wood. Yeah, it needs wood. Forest is large. We don't have anyone manning it. Yeah. Okay. Swap out. Yeah. Get a forester on the go. I mean, I remember Frostpunk usually went down really quickly, but then I didn't actually spend very much time playing it on slow speed. I think if I had, I might have just about managed it. Yeah, are they all infertile, or... I mean, 17 adults left. If they're all infertile, yeah, you're pretty much stuffed. Who's this? Old adult. Minor illness, so they might recover from that, so... Makes settler badge makes fashionable rad suits. So does that leave you with it? So 94% of 17 adults. What's that? Does that leave you with one fertile adult, and that means that yeah, you can't come back from that, can you? Because no one's going to breed. So that actually, yeah, that you might as well just give up there because you're flat out stuffed. Yeah, that's it then, isn't it? I mean, unless the game allows... Well, no, because if you've got one single fertile person, then unless they've coded it to allow a possibility of that one fertile person breeding with someone else who's infertile, then that's it, game over at that point. In fact, the game code really should notice that and say, you know, give you an alert saying, well, that's it then, you just got to wait for everyone to die. So, I mean, again, because it's early access, that's something they might add in, is some intelligence to say, you know, if you've just got one single fertile adult and everyone else isn't, then game over. I mean, I'm still hanging on there. There's still 6 children and 12 adults. I mean, if this one with the illness recovers, they might. Got joints in stock, but... Shit, we haven't got a mortician anymore. Bugger. Okay, right, teachers, probably need teachers. Water carrier, we can bin off the water carrying for the minute. I ain't actually got a builder, so I don't know if this is going to work or not. Missing resources. Oh, we need wood. Wood. Well, yeah, there's still a forester on the go, although they're ill. There's still a forester on the go, so we'll be fine. Yeah, that's still pissing me off, the fact that the people that go into the pub are coming in, sort of going all the way around here. I don't know whether that's the front of the pub or the back of the pub. I thought that was the back of the pub. But they're all coming around to go in through the back of the pub rather than the front, which is on the nice dirt road that I made. So that's poo. Oh, I think children just went up again. So we've got 8 children on the go now, so that's 13 adults, 8 children. Again, might just about manage to do this. Because I don't think anyone's infertile due to radiation poisoning. Oh, yeah. Okay, so we've got another adult now. Oh, back to slow. We could do, I think... Yeah, we need wood. Let's bang on another forester. Where are we going? Right, what we got? Okay, our wood's going up. What are we short of? I don't think we're really... we're not technically short of anything. We're doing cloth on that one. Plastic. Yeah, we're good for plastic. Let's swap that one to cloth. We're good for charcoal. Yeah, we've got, like, more radiation protection actually than we'll ever need, I think, at least for quite a few seasons. Yeah, we're still... let's drop off the charcoal burning and up the forestry. School still going. Oh shit, we're just out of scrap. Rats. Right, we need scrap. We need scrap. Oh, we just had a death. Settlers who died during the current year died most recently none, even though one clearly just died. I mean... changed field of work. I mean, unless they died outside of this zone, yeah, anyone who dies should have ended up there. Yeah, okay, I'll save. Fuck off. I am quite enjoying this because this is... how long is this? How long have I been going? This is about 3 hours with a single run. And... we are, more or less, still surviving, just about. Got someone grumpy. Why are they grumpy? Yeah, now maybe that is it. Maybe someone did die outside of the zone that the cemetery looks after, and maybe that's why they are grumpy. It's interesting. Deaths outside cemetery zone. So I don't think that's obvious, but okay, maybe that is why that happens. Is that wherever you put your cemetery, you need to adjust the zone so it covers as much of the likely active area as possible. So up to we're currently running at 21. It's like it's a very, very, very gentle slope. I think my only hope is that we don't get any sandstorms suddenly coming in, which should fuck things up a bit. occupied, occupied but not breeding, possibly breeding. Definitely not. See, there's a young man. Oh no, right, we've got two blokes. Yeah, that's not going to work. Although one of them could shack it with her. They might have another one. They might have another one. They might have another one. So we're still looking. Yeah, that could work. That could work. A very old adult in the shelter. Well, that's not very fair, is it? We've got enough wood, and if we've got scrap coming in, plastic. Oh right, shit, we're up to max on plastic. Cloth. Let's swap out a cloth then. It's because we're not using metal for anything. That's why. Water's down a little bit. We don't need a builder. Let's get water up again. And we're not got anyone making tools. Ooh. Let's swap out Forester for a tech. I mean, I don't think we desperately need them, but spin for it. Oh dear. Yeah, some of our water is contaminated. Oh no, it's not anymore. It was. And we've got another child. So that's up to 22. It's like, it looks like we've almost got, there's another child. Almost another child. Fucking hell. So up to, and another. 25. I was going to say, we've almost got just a very gentle, perfect... Oh right, we had a... I think the teacher must have died. Who have we got left that we can swap out? Don't really want to swap anyone out at this point. Shoot. Let's see if we can get away with dropping the Forester off. Swapping them out for a teacher. Because I think the teacher's a good idea because it means that adults, the protective gear and the tools last longer. Monster. Dang it. Slow it down. Right. Okay, so the foresters run out of trees in that area. Let's send them over there. Still good for charcoal, we don't need to put anyone there. Need any more on that, or that, or that. What's that? Hunting lodge. Again, that's food. I don't need any more on that right now. Herbs we're still good for. Right, I'm still happy with that. Get stuffed. So they obviously wrote some code to trigger a task and failed to implement it properly. So what's that stop like? Joints. No one's smoking joints, but they're using everything else. Okay, well, fair enough then. I mean, who am I to argue if you don't want to smoke joints? Don't smoke joints. It's like clearly they like drinking beer but don't like smoking joints. Strange people. It seems for 3 hours work this doesn't look as big as I thought it probably would at 3 hours. Although, I don't know, I mean, what's the aim here? Is the aim to sort of create something stable, in which case this is quite clearly as stable as you're going to get? Or do you get something that's big? What's the sort of... What's the success criteria for this game? I mean, I haven't had one of those tasks come up in a while that I had on sessions that I ran yesterday, which were, you know, now... make your, you know, bring your population up to X. I haven't had any of those tasks this time. Oh, for God's sake, here we go again. Who was it this time? Oh, right, so they've had someone die. Again, outside, it must have been outside the zone. Who? It's like, tell me who it fucking was. Well, with any of that, they're going to get drunk in the pub and that's it, we're done. It's just... Or they're going to visit the campfire. See, either one, a visit to the campfire or a visit to the pub seems to negate that debuff. So they just got to the pub, yeah, they've got to the pub, they've left the pub, and now they're not grumpy anymore. Yay! Adults 16, children 9, seems a little bit... Oh, and another child. Up to 10. So up to 26. Again, that's still... Oh, shoot. Right, hang on. Right, we've got lots of scrap. We don't need any refiners. We've got a drought on the go, so let's get water carriers on the go. Because the drought's the hardest thing to deal with. Our food is... brilliant. It's dropped below 1,000. I think it could do with being higher than that. Let's try and get the water up to survive the drought. Come on. Food is fluctuating a little bit. Okay, do we have a hunting lodge? I'm sure we have a hunting lodge. Hunting lodge. Yeah, let's get some on that. We've got 2 settlers left. Occupied. Occupied, occupied, occupied. That's the thing, it always just goes straight to the shelter. Is there anyone in the shelter? If there's someone in the shelter, that means we haven't got enough house space. Cabin space. Is it worth? No, I'm not going to build another cabin yet. So here comes the drought, almost. Everyone's very busy zooming around with the children. So we're up to 29. We're up to 30. We've just hit 30 settlers now. Back up to 30. So we've got 16 adults and 14 children. That's a lot of children. Water and food are again stable. Metal's not brilliant, but I'm still happy with that. I think we're still... Yeah, see, that's flagging as radioactive now. 32. 2 more children. Jesus. Okay. Young adults. Adults. Young adults. Young adults. Adults. We've not got any very old adults now. All the oldies have clearly died. Okay, I'm not worried about that at the moment, I don't think. Okay, let's just repair that though. Don't know if that helps get rid of the radiation out of it or not. But at the minute, average radiation of settlers is 0. Because we have plenty of rad suits, neck scarves, and we've got the 33. We're on a rise. We are on a rise. So let's have another water carrier on the go. The gatherer. Let's have another refiner on the go. Swap to metal. So that's the one thing we seem to... Ooh. They're not brilliant for herbs. Where's the herb? Herbal hot. Herbalist. Let's have another herb. Let's reduce builders up the herbalist. This is scary because we're actually looks like we're starting to roll again. That's 33. 19 adults, 14 children. And all of them are educated adults. Or should be. So does this mean over the seasons, whoever the mortuary attendant is digs them up and bins them? Now, I'm tempted. Yeah, let's upgrade it. While we've got the chance, while everything is stable and quiet, I'm going to upgrade the cistern to water tower. I don't know if that was a good idea, just where we hit a drought. Probably not. So we're taking a hit on the water, but that is because we're in a drought. But having the water tower means that radiation in the rain catcher probably gets negated. Probably. Herbs, not brilliant. Yeah. That cistern's radioactive as well. Shit. Come on. Come on. Drat. Yeah, this is... Yeah, we're okay for all the materials, so it's just a question of getting them there. Okay. Build it, build it, build it, build it, build it! Oh, you bastard! That was bad. timing, I think. But still at 33. Still at 20 adults, 13 children. Right, that's been upgraded, and we can turn on the filtration. Though someone's got to sort out. Yeah, there we go. They've added some charcoal in. Okay, so well, hello. What was that? What was that? Oh, yeah, low water. Oh shit, low water reserves. Right, need to get water carrier on the go. Oh no, we need to get a well keeper on it. Yeah, there we go. That's my bad. Should have done that. Right, let's get things repaired. Oh, fuck off. That's really starting to annoy me, that. Okay, there we go. It's rained, so we've got more water coming into the system. What are they whinging about? Needs wheat. Oh, there's wheat. Beer. Oh no, we've run out of joints. Shit. Well, to be honest, I think I'm going to leave that then. Leave them doing that. Come on. Shit. We've got people sick again. Minor illness. Minor illness. So they might just shake it off. I've not had anything like a major illness so far, so we might be okay. Food, water, food. We probably need to. Oh dear. So yeah, we're starting to roll again, and suddenly we've got to keep an eye out for things. Let's get a fish on the go because we've got water at the minute. Probably what I need to look at. 37. We're up to 37. We got wood. We got. Oh shoot! We're not doing well for herbs. That's. What do we not need? What do we not need? There's been off refiner. Get another herbalist on the go. Because we're going to need a herbalist to do what we're going to do next, which is logistics. I don't really want to build this either, because it's, again, something that's just going to throw the balance out. Oh, that's annoying. And we need electronics for it. Nah, stuff it. I'll just bin that off until we've improved. Minor illness. Minor illness. Minor illness. Chances are these have all occurred because I've not had herbs coming in. Obviously, because people are doing double duty, it means that their efficiency drops on some of the things they're looking after. Oh shit, we got a bunch of young adults in the thing, right. Okay, this is time to build some more homes. So we need to get those young adults out of there. Yep. And into these and breeding. Right, there we go. Okay. Okay, let's swap out the area they're going to as well. Those minor illnesses aren't going away. I just noticed there's some bloke who just walked through the cemetery. Okay. Yeah, water. We're going to need to start ramping up a little bit. Still not getting any herbs in. Oh, no, that's because they've got at least one of them has got a disease, or at least it's minor illness. Okay, let's get one of these. So we need electronics to build a medical centre. See how long we've been playing now. So that's 3.5 hours I've been playing this session. And considering we were down to like, you know, handful, less than 10 adults and only a handful of children, I think we've done really, really well. So that's doing electronics, there's that. Let's spin for a bit. much are there with electronics out of that? What? 16. Yeah, let's put the medical centre next to the flipping cemetery. That'll work. Yeah, let's just get it done. Still holding steady at 37. Oh, no, 38. Just had another child. Okay, we've got enough. Oh no, we haven't got enough. It's just weird because it's now displaying the build icon, which sort of implies that we've got enough to put it together. But we haven't. Oh, maybe we have got enough electronics and they're just carting them around. Okay, we're up to 40. We are having more children. And that means we do need... no. I don't think I'm going to make any more cabins yet. I don't want to push me luck. It's like, why can't you have an evict button to get rid of the old people out of their shacks? You don't need your cabin anymore. What are you doing? I don't really know why I want electronics, but I'm just thinking, let's get them on the go again. Right, so we're just waiting for a builder to turn up now. Oh, we've got plenty of settlers and builders ready. Okay, what do we need? I think let's get another farmer on the go. And let's assign someone to be medic once that's built. Okay, so there we go. I hate to say it, but it's still looking as if, just with a very, very gentle very gentle increase in population, it seems to be a fairly stable setup. Could do with more herbs coming in, because without herbs the medical facility can't do anything. What was the task? What was that? Oh, scrap. Actually, let's up our scrap collection. So we've got 90 neck scarves, 50 carbon masks. Because it looks like more or less that this is now sustainable within a sort of certain parameters, I suppose. We've got the herbs coming in, which means that hopefully none of that in production yet, but I don't need any charcoal yet because we haven't started. What's that? They're making neck scars. Let's swap it. Hang on, what we've got. Let's swap over to rad suits. So that means we probably do need a charcoal burner again. What do we not need? What do we not need a lot of? Yeah, I don't really want to. Let's get rid of the builder. We're not building anything at the minute. Although there's some dirt roads that haven't yet been put together. Oh, hang on. Now, got some stuff that isn't actually powered, including a house. Let's see if we can fix that. Electricity. So if we put one there, I reckon that'll power the last cabin that we've got on the go. I think that'd be a good thing. Yeah. Let's get those on the go. What's that? That's up to workshop. Right, we've got more tools than we know what to do with. 50 metal tools. Okay, let's swap over to scrap. Yep, there we go. I'm quite happy here. This seems to be going well, he says, probably just before it all goes to shit. Radioactive beer. Marvellous. Actually, that is what we could probably do with, is let's get... let's get a little field of... No, don't want it. Let's get some hemp on the go. Although now we've screwed that up. Forester, you see, everyone's busy. Everyone is actually busy, so I don't want to screw it up at this point. Okay, we maybe could just tweak that a little bit. Because we're good for water. I think water's looking reasonable. We've got a drought a few seasons away, but we're looking quite good. We're looking quite good. See, now that means that that's now powered. How many we got? 11 young adults and adults. Oof. Can we risk it? Can we risk it? Go on. Let's push our luck just a little bit. So that means the... Oh, what? I thought the school would have been powered. Okay, we haven't got enough poles. I think we need a... Put one there. Okay, there we go. And that's got a couple of young adults in it. Right, now, is that powered? No. It's got surplus. So why isn't it powering that then? Oh, are you fucking kidding? I've got to put another bleeding pole there. Fuck off. Oh, right, we need wood for that. Yeah. Fucking typical, isn't it? I don't know what that... Oh, yeah. Failed mission. Piss off. And let's swap over to joints. Oh no, we've still got joints in... Oh, bloody hell. We've still got joints in stock. Don't really want to make hard liquor because that eats into our berries. $14 now. We're up to 46. It's a slow climb, but we are getting more people. We are bringing more in. So what do we need? Cloth. Now, I could build a refinery, but the refinery lets us get either... Oh, hell. Oh, we got miserable people. What's wrong with the miserable people? Death. 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 Death and infertility. Yay. Death. Death. Yeah. I'm pissed off about that because it's like, what do we need to do? Have another fucking cemetery? Have a cemetery like every side of the fucking town to cover those people that don't die in the right place? Nah, screw that. I'm not mucking around with that. Okay, we're looking at 45, so I think we lost someone there at some point. Still got adults. I'm gonna push it. I'm gonna push it. Do with another forester on the go. What are we good for? We're running out of metal. Herbs, we're good for herbs again. So let's up our forestry. Although see, if I hadn't built these extra houses, I would be getting the extra people, they wouldn't be eating the food, and our food wouldn't be dropping now. It's such a horrible, tight balance, this game. Let's get another hunter on the go. $150. Let's see what we got. Nothing, nothing. It's a bit of a further way out, but it's like there's a lot of food there. There we go. There's another house going up. So means there'll be another family on the way and more children. How are we doing? We've got lots of protective gear. Not quite enough rad suits for all the adults, but so that's now occupied. Yeah, you see, you've got all these adults now that are living in the shelter. Although some of those might, yeah, looking at these, some of these are probably going to swap out soon as they die. 46. What's that? Oh, we got a grumpy. Yeah, death. So we need a up our water supply. The child, so that's the back up to 46. Lots of joints in stock. Right, so I'm going to no, harvest now and choose seed, and we're going to swap over to wheat again. Yeah, so just get rid of all that. Yep, there we go. It's a couple of deaths. So, hopefully, yeah. Yeah, that's all looking quite good, I think. Drought incoming. Right. Cloth. Cloth. Metal. I don't know why I left them on electronics. We don't need electronics. Alright, so that's 50. Damn it, I hadn't noticed. So 35 adults and 15 children. Yeah, we're in drought, so that water's taking a beating. How long we've been going? Right, we're almost at 4 hours, so I think I'm going to call it a day there and say that, touch wood, we've actually got a relatively stable system going here, which, so long as I don't overdo it on the population, I think is just about sustainable. Water's good so long as we're outside of the drought. Food seems to be fairly stable at around about 1,000. We've got power. Most of it's powered. The only thing I'm slightly, I want to get those houses powered as well, but and this kind of thing gets annoying. But other than that, I'd say this is a fairly good model. So that was twitch.tv/AJ Crowley, mixer.com/AJ Crowley, or Frustratedtron on YouTube, or possibly even Facebook. If you go to frustratedtron.com, you'll find links to the various channels, and you'll find some articles and bits and bobs. I might put a review together of this because it's clearly in early access, so there's a lot of tweaks and bugs and things that need to be fixed, but it seems to be quite a nice setup without getting too overbalanced. I think Frostpunk, cascaded off really badly, really quickly, and it was very irrecoverable. This seems to be quite recoverable, given that I was at one point something like 8 adults and 4 children or something like that, and I've managed to pull it back to a rising, very gently rising population. So apart from some fixes which it needs, it's quite a nice little package. I look forward to seeing what they do with it and how far it goes. So that's it from me for today. I need to take a break so I can get ready to drink some alcohols before I try and shoot things. Enjoy, jams. So I will stick this on the YouTube channel. I'm not sure I'm going to put a playlist together unless I do a lot more sessions of this. But that's a good 4-hour stint of seeing what can be done, and that sometimes with this game you just need to hold your nerve and let it go and let it slowly, very slowly recover. Because unless you are absolutely irrecoverable, it is possible to claw your way back to a working situation. So let's just save that. And otherwise, thanks for watching. Give me a follow, give me a subscribe, do all that stuff. Drop me an email from the website frustratedtron.com. There's a email form, and I will catch you in another video another time. Thanks for watching. Take it.